Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we have a tutorial. If you're new here, hi, hello. My name is Jen Fetzer and I am a self-taught artist. I am going to start out in the video by tracing some outlines of some shapes that I want to paint my galaxies in. You can do just an entire page spread. I recommend starting with something smaller though, so if you have a smaller size sketchbook, definitely use that if you can. If not, use some tape and tape off a section, either washi tape or masking tape. Painter's tape, you know, that blue stuff that you use to paint inside your house will work. I'm just testing out different items for their shapes for something that'll fit well on this page spread. I'm going to do a couple different illustrations or paintings rather of galaxies, and this right here, it's just drawing gum, so it's basically liquid plastic that you put down on your paper so that you can't paint over certain areas. This is just to help the guideline. I can be a very fluid or messy painter. If you're going to use this, do not use a nice paintbrush to put it on. Make sure you're using something cheap, maybe from the dollar store. As you can see, I have a tube of pink paint. It is completely dried out and I am trying to reactivate it. Spoiler alert, it does not work. And I move on to a plan B. I am going to say this and I really mean it. Okay, first, step one, wet your paper. If you're going to be using gouache paint, go ahead. You want to do wet on wet technique. So wet it first. Okay, but going back to what I was saying, I think the most important step for doing galaxy paintings is making sure you have a good color palette. So colors that are cohesive, they work together, they blend well together, they're gonna look good together. They don't get muddy, but they look beautiful, pretty, crisp, all those sort of things. So you can use the color palettes that I'm using. I use dark blue, other blues, teals, and white on this one page spread, also different shades of green. And then on the other page spread, I use purples, pinks, a little orange, and white. I use white for both page spreads to make that sort of galaxy sort of effect. For this painting, I am using watercolor paper. It's a sketchbook by Speedball, a brand that is commonly found in a lot of independent art stores in the US, which is why I gravitate towards it. It is easy to purchase in person at local shops. I am also using a lot of Princeton, either Snap or Select paintbrushes, as well as dollar store ones because they are cheap and can be used in situations where you know you might ruin the brush. Additionally, I am using traditional Holbein gouache. Holbein is the brand. You can use jelly gouache if that's what you have. This will absolutely work with any type of gouache, and you can even use acrylic gouache. For these paintings, I almost always start out with the darkest shade first, working my way inwards to lighter or different colors, sometimes coming back to a darker shade and then to a lighter shade again. You really can't mess up galaxy paintings if you start out with the right colors. At least that's my opinion. You can make them look really beautiful with a lot of simplicity. Don't overthink it, just go with it and kind of go with the flow of the paint on the paper. You do want to make sure that, sorry, I'm laughing because this is me failing and attempting to reactivate this paint. Although it didn't work for this video, and I do still have it, I'm gonna go back to it and try to reactivate it because this is probably $4 or $5 worth of paint right here, so I don't want to give up just yet. But yeah, this was a bit of a little hiccup in my overall plan. The pink color that I end up using by Miyahime Jelly Gouache is not quite the same brightness or opacity as this color, so I didn't quite get the same effect that I was used to or expecting to get. However, let's not just look at our failures. I still ended up making some cute and nice paintings, and I guess that's really what matters. As you can see on the screen, I do have a set of the Miyahime gouache out. It's the twin set where there are twin cups. I do think this is an amazing set for beginners. It's affordable and you get a lot of different colors, so you don't have to worry about color theory as much starting out. You can just start painting and really have fun with it. I noticed recently that they have a jelly gouache set at Michael's by their brand Artist Loft, or at least I think that's what I saw. I think it was Artist Loft. And if you would like to see me test that paint out in one of my videos, let me know. I love a good reason to buy more art supplies, if I can justify it at least. But if you would like me to test it, let me know in the comments below and I will get a set and see what I think of it and compare it to Mia Himi Gouache, Holbein Gouache, Winsor & Newton, and also Artex Jelly Gouache. Those are all the ones I've experimented with so far. As you can see, I started out with the middle color first, the magenta, and I added in the dark violet around the edges, and now I'm going back in with the more red sort of purple around the edges, and I'm blending them all sort of together, but loosely. I let the water sort of take the paint and work them together, or allow them to be worked together. I felt like the pink side, this page spread, was a little bit harder than the first side. I don't know if it was just beginner's luck with the first page spread and the second page spread didn't just work out as well, or if I overworked it. You can absolutely overwork your paintings by just moving around too much, using your brush too much. So here I am starting by adding the watercolor layer, and I didn't clean my brush out all the way. That's why it's still very pink. And I did that on purpose. I wanted it to have that pink pull through the background and really sort of pop. That is a technique that a lot of painters use, especially oil painters. They'll do sort of underpaintings. And it turned out really well for these two little mini circle paintings. This is, as you can see, a toothbrush, and it's one of the best ways to make splatters on your art. It really does tiny little bursts that look really natural to a galaxy. So that's how I added a lot of the stars. And hopefully no one tells my boss, because I definitely took this from work. If you're new here, I work in a dental office full-time. That's how I pay my bills. And one of the perks is I get free toothbrushes, and this one I took for art. Now I'm just going over with a jelly roll pen. Also, I don't think my boss would actually care. She follows my Instagram and gets lots of fun stickers for her kids, so that is a little bit of a joke. I don't think I would actually get in trouble for taking that toothbrush. So I'm just erasing with a normal eraser the Peebo gum, drawing gum, and you can pull it up. You can see you have to erase a little bit and then pull up, erase a little bit, pull up. It's a tedious sort of situation. Just do your best if you use it. As you can see, the drawing gum is not exactly perfect. There are some raw edges, but that's okay because I'm going to go over it with this ink. This is just India ink or calligraphy ink. This is the brand Higgins. You can get this at most craft supply stores or art stores. It's a pretty popular brand. It has a nice dark opacity to it, and it's pretty affordable, which is also a bonus in my opinion. I'm just going to go over the entire page spread, outline everything, and kind of make these really pop with having a dark background. I absolutely, and you too, if you're following along at home, can just leave the page blank. You don't need to color it in, but I feel like it adds a nice finalized touch to the painting. It really sort of finishes it and finalizes it, makes it look extra nice and special. Oh, if you haven't done it yet, if you could please like this video, maybe watch another one, and if you like that video as well, consider subscribing. It really helps my channel out a lot. If you like a video or interact with it, leave a comment below. I am just a small YouTuber starting out, and any sort of support or help, such as liking, really goes a long way. So thank you so much in advance for that. I really appreciate it. All right, friends, let's do a quick little recap on how to do a galaxy painting. 1, make sure you have a nice cohesive color palette set up. 2, start from your darkest color, wash your brush out really well, work your way into a lighter color. You can let it all dry and add in more white over the top. Before you splatter on those stars, you're also going to want to let it dry all the way. Otherwise, it's going to get a little muddy and kind of blend all together. Lastly, if you would like, you can add a nice solid black background or paint the whole page and not worry about a background. Alright friends, here are the final shots of the finished Galaxy paintings with gouache traditional paint. I hope you had fun watching today and you learned a new fun, easy technique. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, I hope you stay healthy and well. I'll see you around. Bye.